And you did a remarkable job in that movie, let me say that, because every time you give 180%. So how did you get prepared for a role like that?
For this? Yeah. How to get ready for this? Well, had a lot of time because we got the writers' strike and everything happen. Got a great collaborative relationship with Maggie. You know, understanding that for me, I wanted to have the iconic look that is a nod to Karloff, that, you know, you live in the shadow of no matter what. You can't compete, you can't beat Boris Karloff as Frankenstein's monster. But I wanted to create our own story, whereupon, like, he was a real character that Mary Shelley had heard, gotten wind of, that there's these science experiments happening at the time with Galvani in Italy, and that she had written it in this dare, and, you know, Frank read it, and he's like, well, you know, once he learned to read, oh, she got these bits right, she got these bits wrong. Karloff got it right about, the scar and the staples, but he got it wrong about the flat head, you know, that was just a hairstyle. So I wanted to bring all of this to bear, and he's a little bit smaller, he's not 8 foot, he's human, because Maggie was very insistent on that. He's not a monster first who gets humanized, he's a human who was treated abysmally, had awful experiments performed upon him, and had the worst father, you know, in the world. And so, yeah, this is a man who was dying of loneliness, of guilt, of remorse, regret about the terrible crimes he committed when he was a baby, essentially. He was a giant baby who knew no better, but needs companionship here. And so takes the risk of venturing into the big city to you know, interact with people. Never went well for him, but to try to find a companion. And he gets way more than he bargained for.
And I love this makeup because this looks so perfect. So if you have this full makeup on, also with the body and the head, how long does it take? How long did you spend in the makeup chair? And what did you do to survive this?
Well, we messed around a lot with it, you know. We tried so many different things, you know, ahead of time, but always under the direction of Maggie saying human first. And then, you know, finding the body, etc. I would guess the initial applications would take with the body about 6 hours. Brilliant makeup artists. Chris Gallagher helped design it. Then Scott and Robin and Stella and Laurie were my team while we were filming. And they are as responsible for creating Frank as I am, you know, because these were transformations that I can't do myself, you know. Many of the things I've been able to do myself, gain weight or whatever, but I can't grow, you know, like that. I can't create all of these scars and whatnot. And so, you know, we used it as a kind of a meditational exercise, but then we loved screaming at the end of it, which a few people have heard about, and just found it to be a wonderful release. You know, it was great. It was very frank. It allowed me to have this very deep, husky voice of a larger man without trying. And gave my makeup team, you know, the outlet of they've got to be so precise, you know, their backs are killing them. By the end of, you know, we got it down to, I bet the quickest was probably 3 hours. But doing that painstaking detail, you know, oh boy, do you want to scream at the end of all of that. And so we all did. And it became a daily routine that just grew and grew and grew. And all the crew loved it by the end of filming. I
love it because screaming is sometimes very liberating. I
Absolutely.
do this all in my car when I have a stressful day, when nobody sees me.
Yeah.
And it helps. It helps
it feels
coming
so
down.
good, doesn't it? Yeah.
And I know at a movie of this scale, anything can happen behind the scenes. So do you have maybe some funny memories from us? Maybe something fell off of the makeup or anything other?
Oh, we had all sorts of stuff, you know. When you've got this, you got wigs and all of that stuff. You know, we had scenes with Jessie and me like larking about, jumping into fountains. You know, her hair coming off, my, you know, makeup drifting off into the water as well. Whenever you've got any movie like this where you're really working very satisfying long hours, but you're exhausting yourself, you start getting very silly. And so we had a great time. And Jessie is a very infectious personality. Maggie and her have a great relationship. And we had just a really great crew and team on this, and I think we all, you know, felt very close by the end of it. Even though I tend to not really talk that much when I'm working, but I watch and I listen, you know, to everything. And it was a good crew. It was a really good crew, and we had some good times. Yeah.
And my last question, if I have only one.
Christian, if you can answer it in like 10 seconds.
Yeah. Would you like monster movies? Because I love these old monster movies from the 30s.
Yeah. Godzilla movies, Frankenstein movies. Yes, love all of them.
Thank you so much.